Hello children, so all ready for your next lesson? Today we'll be taking up The Proposal by Anton Chekhov. Now proposal carries more than one meaning. What meaning do you know about proposal? No? One proposal you get to hear is about a proposal of a marriage or for some kind of ceremony. So that is a proposal, a marriage proposal. Then the other meaning also stands for a plan. No? The proposal by a particular company or whatever they have planned out. So that is the other meaning of proposal. Now, it's a very interesting, humorous story which has those three characters, very quarrelsome characters. They bring out the comic situation. Most of these things are very humorous. And then this other word, satire. The story is a satire. Now what is a satire? Satire is a mockery, an exaggerated situation which is portrayed in a comic style. You may be mocking about a situation or a story. So here this play is the story is a satire. Now before we begin with the summary, let us know a little about the author, because there might be a question. You may get a question. Then even otherwise, it is always better to have some information about the author. Now again, I'm repeating, in English, committing spelling errors is a blunder. Committing grammatical errors, punctuation errors, no. A complete no, right? Now, Anton Chekhov. You need not remember about the author's mother, father, whatever. Author and about what kind of a writer he was, and if it is a part of his other writings. That is all that you need to know. Born on 29th January in the Russian Empire, father Pavel Yegorich Chekhov was a physically abusive man. His mother Yevgenia was a fantastic storyteller, loved telling stories to children and enjoyed entertaining them with her stories. Then father was a physically abusive man who highlighted him as a hypocritical model in most of his Anton Chekhov's writing. Now he is the writer of famous plays and stories. This is what you need to know about Anton Chekhov. A writer of famous plays and stories. Now the ones, very popular ones, The Lady with the Dog, About Love, Trilogy, Ward Number 6, A Joke, The Boys, and the other famous stories for which Anton Chekhov is known. This particular story that we're going to take up is the proposal, the marriage proposal. Now, if you could tell me which currency is used in Russia? Ruble, right? So here also ruble is mentioned. So remember, when you're writing your answers and you have to write about the currency, then you have to mention about ruble only. You cannot write any other currency. So make sure rubles you will mention if the answer is requiring it. Now when we begin with the summary of this chapter, the curtain raises with Lomov. Lomov is the key character. What do we call them? the main character is called a protagonist. No? Who's a protagonist? But here we have all these three people. Protagonist, right? Protagonist is the main character. Now Lomov, entering his neighbor. So this Lomov has come to his neighbor's house, and neighbor is Chubukov's house. He is very well dressed, he's formally dressed, he is wearing his gloves and his suit, formally dressed up. I mean, normally when you go to your neighbor's house, you normally wear your casual clothes because they're just your immediate neighbors. But now this man, he goes to Chubukov's house, formally dressed in gloves, and see, evening attire means formal clothes. Now Chubukov is surprised by looking at him, no, to see him in his formal clothes, and he is asking him, what is the occasion? Are you going out somewhere? Is it for a ball, an evening? And Lomov reveals that he has come to make a request. Now again, Chubukov he feels that probably he has come to ask me for some money. Chubukov anticipates that he must have come to ask for money, and Chubukov has no intentions of giving it to him, but the actual reason turns out to be something else. Now, on learning that Lomov's purpose of coming to Chubukov's house was, he had come to ask for Chubukov's daughter, Natalia's hand in marriage. He had come to propose. Proposal was for marriage. Whose marriage? Chubukov's daughter. Name of the daughter? Natalia. No spelling errors. Remember that. Now Chubukov is very happy. He is very happy. He gets filled with excitement and he goes out to call his daughter. Now Lomov, now a little about Lomov. His age is 35 and he suffers from palpitations, and sometimes these palpitations continue for a longer duration, and then he gets upset very easily and has disturbed sleep. So this is about Lomov, 35-year-old, suffers palpitations and has disturbed sleeps, and he feels that probably he has to make a compromise because of his own physical ailments, and therefore he decides to propose Natalia, his neighbor, for marriage. He thinks it is the best age for him to get married, and he is happy that he has made up his mind for this girl, Natalia, who is his neighbor. Now, according to him, Natalia is average looking and a good housekeeper. She's educated also. She's 25 years old. So he feels all right. Perfect, like, I mean, good enough for a marriage. Now, when Natalia arrives, Lomov begins the conversation about how grateful and glad he is that both their families are on good terms since the very beginning. See, when you come with the intentions of making a proposal, you always begin on positive notes, on positive talking. So Lomov also starts positive talks. He says that both the families have been on good terms from the very beginning. Now, while continuing to talk about his land, now when he is talking about his land, somehow during the conversation, he mentions about his oxen meadows. Now he says, these oxen meadows, that's a piece of land. A piece of land, that's oxen meadows, which earlier was a disputed property. Oxen meadows was a disputed property, but now it belongs to him. Now when Natalia heard this, she couldn't believe a word. She says, no, it's not like that. He was saying because she believes that oxen meadows belongs to her family. She says, no, that patch of land belongs to us. It belongs to my family. Now both of them get into a heated argument. They start getting quarrelsome, and the argument carries on, and very childishly they continue to keep arguing about oxen meadows. And then Choboko enters. Girl's father enters just to get the conversation more heated. Rather than resolving the issue, rather than solving out the problem, he adds fuel to the fire. He makes the conversation more heated. Now they shout and scream while Lomov suffers from extreme pounding of the heart. Now when he is suffering from the extreme pounding of the heart, a side pull and a numb foot. This was the problem which he frequently faced. What? The extreme pounding of the heart, a side pull and a numb foot. So that condition had again started to come in. So he walks out. They throw Lomov out of the house and continue cursing him. Now when Lomov has left, and while father and daughter are still talking ill about him, Chobukov unintentionally reveals that he means Lomov. Lomov had come with a marriage proposal for Natalia. Natalia is surprised. Oh, she says, because she didn't know. Now she says that she regrets. She tells her father, I want him back. I want Lomov back. Because when she comes, because she is eager. She is eager to get herself proposed by Lomov. So now she wants Lomov back. She tells her father to bring him back immediately. Now Chobukov curses himself on being a father of a grown-up daughter. Sometimes the children, when they grow up, they really get so hyper, and that parents do get irritated. So he curses himself. Now we move on to the next now. Now the next situation which gets into another heated argument. Now Lomov has returned. Now Natalia, she wants that he should propose to her. Now Natalia tries to deviate to another topic. She tries to direct his mind to another topic to create a situation so that he makes a marriage proposal to her and starts talking about shooting. She wants him to propose her now. Now somehow they get into an argument. Now this argument involves their dogs. Now Natalia says that her squeezer is better than Lomov's guess. Lomov's dog is guess, Natalia's dog is squeezer. Again that heated conversation begins, and it goes on and on. They continue to argue when Chobok enters the scene. Again the situation goes from bad to worse once again. Earlier it was about the disputed property, those meadows. Now it's about their dogs, Squeezer and Guess. One says mine is better, the other says mine is better. Now everyone gets hyper and Lomov finally falls because he is not strong enough to handle these violent situations. So he falls due to his palpitations. No spelling mistakes, palpitations. Even then the cursing doesn't stop, it continues when suddenly Natalia notices that he is unconscious. So they try to get water down his throat but end up getting unsuccessful. So they feel probably he is dead. According to them, he is dead, but then it is only when Lomov moves a little bit, they realize that no, he is still alive, and they feed him some water, and Chubukov doesn't want to miss out on the opportunity. When he realizes that this man is not dead, he forcefully hands over Natalia's hand to Chubukov, gives his blessings, and he asks them to kiss. Lomov, still not fully conscious, doesn't understand. See, the man is lying unconscious, and suddenly you realize that he is not dead, he is alive, and you quickly want to make use of the situation. So father hands over his daughter's hand to him, gives their blessing, tells them to kiss each other. Lomov, still not fully conscious, doesn't understand what is going on. When he finally comes to his senses, he expresses his excitement and kisses Natalia's hand. Natalia, being childish as she is, manipulates him into accepting that squeezer is better than guess. But Lomov, being adamant as he is, refuses to accept it. Once again, the quarrel continues. So something which is a regular feature in most of the marriages. So it's a humorous story where you need to know the names with correct spellings, and then both the situations which are quarrelsome. The initial situation about the land which they auction meadows, over which they get into heated arguments, and the second one is about the dogs, squeezer and guess, right? And then even when the story ends, the quarrel continues, indicating what? That this is a regular feature. No? Okay, so I'm sure you must have enjoyed it. Now what is the next step? Next step is to give a thorough reading to your chapter from the book. And then we'll move on to the question answer round, right? Okay, thank you.